Hey y'all, it's Indigo here, coming at you with a Territory Wars video. Sometimes I like to do these. I like it better when we win. This time we didn't do so hot. We went up against a guild called That's So Revin. Uh, Pretty good guild. They definitely were efficient. And I recorded almost all of my battles, so you guys could check those out and just see how we did. This first one up, I put out a short video yesterday on it. It's about using Night Sisters to counter a General Grievous team. And it can get pretty dicey. I mean, it does get dicey. There's no way around that. You got to kind of hope that they don't go after Daka. If they focus on your Daka, you're screwed. Once she goes, that's the end of it. And you got to have at least, I would say, a Relic 5 Daka or higher. She's got to be stacked for health. That way she can survive kind of the onslaught. I don't know if it was a mistake to take my zombie to gear 13. I think maybe a gear 12 zombie would work a little bit better, die more often. The more deaths that you can get, the more you're going to ramp up her health and ramp up Asajj. So that's going to help your team as far as survivability and damage. So something to think about, I guess. And this is something that, you know, I've tried before a couple times, but I went down to the Night Sister faction server on Discord. If you guys use Discord, you should go check that place out. There's some helpful people there that kind of helped me fine tune and sent me a lot of video footage to kind of get this team up and running, because it's always nice to have multiple General Grievous counters when you're facing a wall of 25 of them or whatever, and then probably another wall behind that. So you want to have multiple options to use, and it's a great counter to have. Yes, people have pointed out to me that it's lucky that Grievous doesn't focus on Daka, and I mean, that is how it is. And there's, like I said, there's other ways that RNG can go. You'll notice my spirit didn't die, and I wasn't able to keep calling her from the grave to assist. That's another way that this team can go, and it makes it really strong. I mean, it just is how it is. So it does get super risky, but it does win. I mean, this is a pretty good counter for getting the job done, especially, like I said, when you're trying to get through maybe 50 of them, and you can't count on all your guild members to do their part, or when people mess up, and go multiple battles, this gets the job done. And once you get down to just Grievous, there's no danger of you losing. So, took him out, got 20 banners for that. I mean, like you saw, it got dicey, but 20 banners is 20 banners. So, the reason I'm making this video, I guess, I've heard that a lot of those guys wanted to see their team streamed and see how their team did. And I like that too. It's always nice to get that feedback and know what somebody used, but not just to know the team of what they used, but to actually see it play out and see how your team did, so that you can improve for the next war or the next GAC that might come along. So this is my CLS team. I got it modded for countering Relic 7 General Skywalker team. So if you want to see how this goes, let it play out. Once you get Skywalker to take a knee, go straight after fives, get him out. Then you try to get Rex out. You can see he only had a Gear 12 ARC Trooper. Sometimes that's helpful because you can kill him in a couple hits or get a good assist from Chewie and get him knocked out. That way you can kill everybody before General Skywalker gets back up. That's obviously your goal, is to try to kill everyone before he gets back up. And I wasn't able to do it right there. Got the last one down to red bar, and then, he gets back up, and that sucks because there's a certain way you want this battle to go. And I like to have Old Ben taunt and take that kind of barrage whenever he rises and starts attacking somebody. I want it to be Old Ben, and I do have the Zetas on him, so when he dies, he's going to throw turn meter and bonuses to the rest of the team. Well, I like him to take that hit after I've killed all the clones. And you can see here, he wasn't around for that, so I had to take some extra damage, but I still was able to survive with 19 banners. So not too bad of a counter there. Next up, we're going to take out a Padme team. Now, a lot of people struggle with Padme. They wonder, what should I use to take this one out without burning something too terribly good? So, Traya is the best one if you can afford it. Going with Traya and the Triumvirate, Scion, Nihilus. Thrawn definitely for control, being able to swap that turn meter and the fracture. And then I had put IPD in there. IPD is pretty good if you can get the target lock landed, and that way they can't gain the buffs. And then if worse comes to worse, you can try to blow somebody up. You can see it didn't work out that way, though. They went right after IPD and took him out, so he did absolutely nothing. But the good thing is I was able to turn meter swap with Thrawn and send that turn meter over to Traya, and that way she could isolate Padme. If you can get Padme isolated, you're sitting in good shape, because then she can't give out all the tons of protection up to everybody like she normally would. You definitely want to keep her on ice as much as you can. Otherwise, the enemy team's going to build up some courage and start taking you out pretty easily. And the good thing about having Thrawn in with the trio is being able to not only use his fracture to put someone on timeout like General Kenobi, but also throw that turn meter when you need it and top up protection. So definitely a key character to have, I would say. I wouldn't try it with just the trio and without Thrawn. You need two good supporting characters, or really at least one good supporting character like Thrawn, or maybe Bastilla Fallen would probably work too. You can see that I was able to take out GK. Once he's gone, you don't have to worry about his taunt drawing your focus off. And so once he's out of the picture, I was able to take out Anakin. I want to get him out just because he ends up taking a lot of turns, and most people have him modded so that he can hit pretty hard. And you definitely don't want him clearing the board with some heavy hits. I know a lot of people like to save their Traya for Geos, because you do see a lot of Geo walls in territory wars. But you got to pick your battles, and if there's a hard Padme squad in the way, you can see I was able to take this one out and still pick up 19 banners. Next up, we just have a standard General Grievous squad. I think a lot of people have kind of moved away from using standard squads for this reason. A lot of people have told their guilds to start putting in BB-8 or Watt, just because it makes the squad that much harder. You got to take a lot more of a barrage if you got BB-8 in there than you do if it's just a plain regular vanilla General Grievous squad. Like here they got Droidica in there. That doesn't hurt near as much if the whole team goes first with BB-8 in there, and then BB-8's taunting, or if Watt is in there to give out those techs. So with just a plain squad, you can run a Bastilla lead with Jedi Knight Revan and Yoda. I use Hermit Yoda and Jolee as the 4th and 5th. I've got, I think, Relic 4 or 5 on my Jolee. I found out you really do want him to be a mid-tier Relic. The more health you can put on him, the better. Because if he ends up dying, you're going to be in serious trouble. And there are a couple times where you could lose multiple characters and he'll survive long enough to bring them all back. This happens a lot in Grand Arena Championships. So here I don't necessarily have to worry about that. But it's good to have him nice and healthy, pretty tanky. That way I don't have to worry about him getting taken out and then the rest of my team dying off. You can see that I took out B2 first. I'm sure you guys have seen this 100 times. But you take out B2 first, just kind of take your time plinking away at the others, and you're just waiting for that next direct focus to come up from Revan. And as soon as that direct focus comes back up, you'll throw it on Grievous. So right now, you can see it came back up. Now I can throw it on Grievous and start working on taking him out. Now in the downtime from Grand Arena Championships, I have put some more relics on my Jedi team. I think I took Grandmaster Yoda up to Relic 5 and adjusted his mod so he hits a little bit harder. I think this is definitely key. You want to be able to hit really hard so that Grievous doesn't constantly keep healing up. You don't want to risk timing out or not getting him down at the right time to where then he'll do an AoE or his crawl hit and take one of yours out. So got rid of him. Again, like I said, high relics make this a much easier job. You don't have to worry about failing. And now it's just cleanup. I just got to take out Droideka here. And then I'll just start knocking stacks off of B1. Trying to get everybody healed up and ready, even though you don't really have to worry about healing up. And 20 banner win. So easy peasy when it's a regular vanilla Grievous team. Alright, here's the ship battle I did. The only fleet I actually took out. It was just a negotiator on negotiator mirror match. Any of you guys that have watched probably any of my other videos, you'll know that I don't really care for fleet. I don't spend the time to, know what each and every single move does and when I should use this or that. I just kind of go with the flow. And I start off with Anakin, Ahsoka, and Houndstooth. And then I put 5s as my reinforcement. And that way, usually by the time I bring him in, I've got some target locks up and I can do a big hit on the board and, knock some people out. And in this case, I have my Houndstooth and the enemy did not. So it was a little bit easier for me. You can see that I got a couple of them near death. I couldn't quite take anybody out right there. But none of my team looks like they're ready to die. So I think as long as I can keep it that way, I'm doing good. And then it's just like get in my attacks, where I can. But a lot of people don't use Houndstooth with their negotiator because they want to use Houndstooth with their Falcon fleet, or they might throw it in as a reinforcement or something with their Geos. So you end up fighting a lot of different compositions. And thankfully I was able to take this guy out. Got a solid 22 banners there. So, hey, good enough for me. Alright, next up is some fun. I always like using this. You'll see I went after the Geos, and I like using my Jawas. This is the only thing they're really any good for. And in Territory Wars, you often find a Geo wall, and they won't all be top Relic 7. Well, since they're not, that's a perfect time to use decently geared Jawas. So right here is about to go boom. As long as you have Scavenger, and mine is Gear 12, plenty of health and protection on him. So as long as he can survive, he can do this. Boom. And there they go. And that's a win for me. And it's 18 banners, and it's over in like 20 seconds. So that's why I'm not too worried about not having Treya when I hit a Geo wall. I'll just throw on my Jawas. I wish more people in my guild had theirs geared up. Alright, this next fight, this can get a little bit dicey, but for this reason, I'm going to tell you, this one I figured it would be fine, because he's got a Night Sister team, and he's got relics on, I think, Asajj and Daka. The problem is, if you're going to relic up Asajj and Daka, you don't want to put in like a Gear 8 Mother Talzin. He's got, I noticed that, the first two had some relics on them, the others were Gear 12, okay. But when you put a weak character at the end like that, a Mother Talzin that was like, I think, Gear 8, then that's going to be a weakness for Imperial troopers because they'll be able to use her to get that quick kill. And so you see that even though the other team got to move, my imps were still strong enough to get a 20 banner win. I did go back, since I didn't catch it in my initial recording, just in case he wanted to see how his team did. You can see it there, beam. So if you're watching this, that'd be a little constructive criticism for you. Work on that Mother Talzin, and your opponent will have a harder time of it. The next Night Sister team that we're going to take out is Night Sister using probably my favorite counter for Night Sisters now. I think is a pretty good use of this team, taking your First Order and adding Watt instead of First Order Stormtrooper in there. And then with Watt, you give the tank tech to Crew, and then as soon as he goes again, you want to use the weapons mod tech and give that to Executioner. And once you have that on there, they're great against Night Sisters because everybody that Executioner kills can't revive. So it doesn't matter if they have a Saj lead or whether they've got Mother Talzin lead. Once they die, they're not coming back. So it really kind of negates that whole aspect. The only thing you got to worry about is them dying to damage from another character or potentially dots, something like that. As long as you can time it so Executioner can get the final blow, and he can do some pretty hefty damage. You saw he took Asajj down to the red right there. You just want to make sure not to kill her with another character. Once Executioner knocks her out, that's it. They're permanently gone. So you don't have to worry about any of those pesky revives. It's definitely a good team to help get your way through a Night Sister wall. I know a lot of people still use those in TW, and you come across a lot of Night Sister squads on defense in Grand Arena. So this is a counter that I've been able to practice with, and I really do like it. Saves me from having to use Padme to take out Night Sisters, and I think it's more of a budget counter since I'm using a Gear 11 Watt to help take out some, relict Night Sisters. And in this team, I think there was one or two that were relict, and the rest were Gear 12. That is kind of typical to what you find in a lot of TWs. Again, you're going against a guild where there's 40, 50 people registered. You're going to find something. Not everybody has top of the line, unless you're in one of them top guilds maybe. Not everybody has everything maxed out. So that was my battles. That's, how I did this war. The only thing I don't think I recorded was, again, a Darth Revan mirror match earlier, and I won that. I think 20 banners. So that's it. It was a fun war, and those are some of the counters that I used. Hopefully it will help somebody, and if any of the guild that we went against is watching this, hey, I hope you enjoy seeing how your teams performed. Shout out to my buddy Mikayas. He runs a modding service. He'll go through, make sure you got the right squad compositions and the right mods on the right characters. Give your account a real nice tune-up. I'll put the link to his Discord in my description. Go ahead and check him out. Tell him Indigo sent you. Thanks for watching my video, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share your comments down below, and hopefully you'll check out my other videos on my channel. Peace.